What's going on? What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet, but you can call me His Royal Highness, and welcome to another episode of Rhoyally Fucked. You're going to see an email right here on the bottom of the screen, rhoyallyfucked@gmail.com, where we have our segment called Ask the Royal Highness, and then from there, you're going to send me your questions, and I will answer them. Don't worry about what I got on, because I'm feeling very comfortable and free right now, but I just wanted to come by and give you this review. This week's review of Lovecraft Country, Season 1, Episode 5, Strange Case. So, I'm going to preface this by saying my biggest fear with this show is that they take it too far, too fast, right? And we've seen this. I'm only gonna give you one reference, and this is what I can think of off the top of my head. True Blood. If anyone has seen True Blood, it used to come on HBO, vampire, and then it branched off into werewolves and fairies and nymphs, and it went too far, too fast. When they had the storyline about vampires and even werewolves, that was dope. But then they started going off on fairies and it was just too far, too fast, and they could not put an adequate storyline together, and it just ended kind of, I got a long tongue, neither here nor there. But it just ended kind of, like Lucy will say on I Love Lucy. So that's my biggest fear, right? So this episode was a lot. And I'm not going to touch on everything, but I'm going to touch on the major points. So this episode here is centered. There are three things that I ultimately enjoyed in this one. This episode. This episode was centered around Lily's sister or half-sister, Ruby Baptiste. Because you remember last episode, episode 4, which was entitled, and I'm looking on my phone because I do not remember, episode 4, A History of Violence. Ruby met the white guy, who I can't tell you what the white guy's name is. I guess the assistant of Mrs. Berth. Come on, phone. Thank you. The assistant of Christina Berthwife. I'm trying to find his name. Is that William? Jordan Patrick Smith? I guess that's the only other white boy on here. I'm guessing that's who that is. William. They met at a bar, and I'm sure it was strategic because of who Ruby is to the story, to Liddy, and who Letty is to Atticus. Side note, have y'all seen the new pictures? I'm probably going to have them pictures behind me. Yes. Those pictures of Atticus. This man is fine. Fine. He's like the new heartthrob. People, men and women, everybody have been posting him. And baby, that man is a fine-tuned specimen. My God, today. So this episode is centered around, more or less around Ruby. Understanding and coming to the fact that magic is real. And being able, because she woke up in the body of a white woman. Mama thought she had lost her mind, running out in the streets. A black boy was about to get his ass towed up because the police thought that he did something. And the police can think anything at that time regarding black men, black boys, and white women. But she stopped him, saying he was only trying to help, and ultimately saved his life. Still traumatic for him, but ultimately saved his life. She comes to find out that in a potion that she drank, past tense. Anyways, that she is able to be what she has always wanted to be, or to fit in that realm of white society, not having to care about what she looks like, mindfully how she speaks to people, how she carries herself, things of that nature. and was able to be white. And it hit on a couple of things for me in that episode about how some black people think that they are white, how some black people are not comfortable in their own skin and they think that it is better being white. And even in that monologue when she was Hillary Davenport was her name when she was white. Even in that monologue when she was talking to, what was the black girl's name that worked in the store? Drop down in the comments and tell me her name. I can't think of her name right now. She was telling her that you have to be ultimately better than white folks because there's a lot of shit that you don't see that white people have going on in the background. And only saying white people ain't no better than us. You just don't see they bullshit, right? And so, the process of this potion wearing off is like the butterfly in the cocoon. She is, I guess, Ruby is the butterfly inside of the white cocoon. And when the potion begins to wear off, she literally sheds the skin, the body from the inside out, right? And so she decides that she is going to be white. She is going to live that realm, that privilege. And William tells her that, what does it, she's like, well, what does this cost me? He said, it's going to be a favor and I'll let you know when. And she was like, well, it depends on what the favor is. And she's like, well, bitch, ultimately she said, bitch, I ain't about to kill nobody. I ain't about to do nothing that's going to send me up to jail or whatnot. So you need to tell me what this favor is so I can determine if the reward is worth what does it say? Reward worth the gain, or the gain worth the reward, or something like that. But he said, oh, my sinus, excuse me. He said, something very small, very minute, yada, yada, yada. So, okay, she's loving this man, being in love with this man, or whatnot. Atticus comes to Atticus and Lily come back in from wherever they were to see Yamaka. I think that was her name, Yamaka, Yamanita, whatever. We know from the last episode that Daddy, Montrose, played by Michael K. Williams, slit her throat. So when they came in, he was like, she's gone. Now Lily thought that he let her go. But Atticus knew from the look in his face, he knew what his daddy had did. You get what I'm saying? And so out of all, and he whooped his ass, not just because of that, because of all of the pent up aggression that he has had over not just with this situation, or the situation of finding these pages, but about how his daddy even treated him as a child. And so he beat his daddy's clean ass. Clean. Whooped him like he stole something. And actually he did. He stole the pages of Atticus, not Atticus, what's his name? Oh Lord. Titus's pages. I don't know if he burned them or whatnot. Luckily, Letty took pictures of it and they were able to do the jigsaw puzzle trying to figure that shit out. But he whooped his daddy ass, right? The second part about it, what I liked and that I struggled with, is how we had rumblings that Montrose was possibly bisexual or gay, right? This episode, we were able to see him in his full self. The bartender, who I can't remember his name, I'm not trying to go down in all of these. Yeah, the bartender doesn't even come up on this page, but the bartender, whatever his name is, ends up being his lover. After Atticus beat Montrose's ass, he goes to the one person that he finds solace, that he finds love and adoration, no matter how he feels it wrong it is or how society says says that it is wrong. He went to the man that I can't say that he loves him, but he loves him to an extent. And the hard part is how he kind of just took him. Now, I don't know how they did back then. I don't know if lube is a new kind of thing. I don't know if lube is a new century kind of thing. But, bitch, he spit a loogie in his hand and rubbed it on his dick and shoved it in. That was hot, but it seemed like it hurt. And in my mind, Montrose got a hammer knocker dick. Just the way that, you know how sometimes people look, like Michael K. Williams is not a bad looking man himself. He's not like, he ain't like super fine, but the way he looks, he gives me that he has a mean dick, right? And so when he shoved that big hammer knocker up there, and the bar owner, when you saw his face, that grunt and that, bitch, that was everything to me. And the fact that, you know, Michael K. Williams, we've seen him in a couple of other things. Boardwalk Empire, you famously know him from The Wire. The Wire, my God, today. You know him from there. He's born and raised Flatbush, Brooklyn. And for him to, he's an actor. But oftentimes, especially for black men, they do not take on the gay role. Especially established actors. They don't take on the gay role. And so for him to have this quote unquote sex scene, and there was a point where the bar owner tried to kiss him when it was said and done, and he turned his face. Myself said, he ain't gonna kiss no man on camera. This is about as much as he is going to do. And then he proceeded to go down and give him head. Right? We didn't see the dick in the sex, it is simulated. We didn't see the head, that's simulated. But kissing is not simulated. You see that, right? And I said, he is not going to kiss him on camera. I said, this is about as much as he is going to do, right? Fast forward to where this underground gay, and we know that gayness has been around forever, LGBTQIA. It dates back to even to ancient Greece, even in theater, and I'm a theater major, or was a theater man when I graduated, that female roles were played by women. They dressed up in drag, yada, yada, yada. So there was this underground drag scene where the boyfriend, the bar owner, dressed up in drag. Now the gag is, and I know Keke Palmer says that a lot, but bitch, she didn't start it. That is an old gay term, right? The gag is there were some notable faces on there that I was like, okay, I see you. Monet Exchange from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 5, All-Stars winner. Daryl Stevens. That was the real gag. Daryl Stevens. Noah from Noah's Ark. I said, is that Daryl? Daryl looked damn good in drag. And then you had Shangela on there from RuPaul's Drag Race as well. And it was, you know, notable. They had real women, I'm not going to say real, biologically born women in that scene. And I thought the way that he was looking at his lover, I thought he was going to hurt them, to be perfectly honest. Because Michael K. Williams also has that face to where, like, he'll fuck a bitch up. And I thought, based on his son beating him up, living this life that, you know, people say that he should not live, and that part of him says he should not live because societal norms and the black church and whatever. I thought he was going to do something drastic in that setting, in that scene. But for whatever reason, there was an epiphany inside of him to where he was able to live his authentic truth. There was this whole paradigm shift to where he fell into place. He felt seen. He felt heard. He felt love. And he, they lifted him up and let his hair down. He was able to let his hair down. He was dancing with the people. And when he got to his boyfriend, lover, whatever, they kissed. And they, not no peck, bitch, they kissed. And I was like, oh, because I knew in the other scene, he was not going to kiss on camera. And it just warmed my heart. Again, representation matters. Just like this is a black fantasy, black sci-fi show, which I have never seen like this, to where they are the lead characters. Oftentimes black are the sidekicks and the second and third class citizens. But to have a show where there are black leads with a black story and black fantasy and black magic, representation matters. So I thoroughly enjoyed that scene to where he was able to fully embody who he was as a black, gay, queer man, and the representation that it needs to be seen on the screen. The other part which I enjoy, and which was a gag, is that this entire time, William was Christina's birthright. Now, mind you, you never saw them two hoes in the same place, but you never knew it. You never thought, oh, that's the same person. No, but you never saw them in the same room at the same time. So at the end, where he comes in and Ruby is in her true form, sitting on the couch saying, what's in the basement, what's in the basement? And he says, not right now. And I'm guessing he's trying to make it down to the basement or out of view. And he goes through his metamorphosis right there on the floor and stands up as Christina Birthwife. It's like, well, bitch now. And then Atticus is trying to decipher these pages or whatnot. And then he realizes something and calls, I'm assuming, because they never said who she was. But he was overseas, and I was Vietnam or, yes, 60s. I guess that's the 50s. Well, no, Vietnam was the 60s, so it couldn't have been Vietnam. So it had to be like World War II then. World War II. To where or could it been? Is that the 60s when this is taking place? But anyways, he goes overseas and he meets his Asian woman. Because remember, he called and like 2 episodes ago, and she was like, Atticus, is this you? And he didn't say anything, and he hung up, right? He realized the page just said something. It said die, and it said other stuff suffer. And he called her, and he was like, why didn't you tell me, or something like that? And he was like, well, who are you? And then she hangs up. I saw the preview at the end of the episode. Something's going on. Mama is the original ring bitch. She's the original girl that was pushed down the well. She's the original grudge because Mama got some powers and got some shit. So I don't know. I can't wait for the new episode to come out. That is really about it. Those are the 3 main counterparts. Ruby living in whiteness. Montrose being able to be his authentic self. And that Christina Birthwife was William the entire time. So I am excited to see what transpires. I'm excited to see how this continues. And I think that's really all that I have for this particular episode. It was good. Again, representation matters. You're going to see an email right here at the bottom, rhoyallyphuckeded@gmail.com. And then from there, that is really about it. Send me your questions and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace and much love. Bye.